Last time on Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. That device that was found in your guitar. Take a look at this. Oh god, his face just changed to angry clavier. I get gay when I'm angry, Apollo. Do you know how that feels? No, not really. Well, I'll make sure you know. Hey guys, Redden here, and welcome back to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. So, last time we finally just got started on the court case. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial, how do I say this name again? Machi TOBAYE, our suspect fortissimo. Right, whatever. It's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Damn, you always have to make it so cool. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just, I've been friends with Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time. Incuritis, was it? That article said there is no known cure. Judge, let me say, with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Now is the time for law. Indeed. Just starts crying. Poor Judge. They never depict the judge as showing any sort of emotion except for silly ones like worry over small things and just being kind of accusative. Is accusative even a word? I don't know, he's always precautious around Phoenix and makes all these giant jokes like, oh, I bet you're the murderer all along, or things like that. I don't know, he's just kind of a weird character. It's the first time in the series I've really seen him, lament for something or show any sort of emotion that really affects his character in any way. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. I asked Interpol about that number. IPXX314206. The agent registered under that number was Romaine Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Croissant. That's not my name. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Oh yeah, it was Lamoire who said that. Wait, that voice just now, that was the one I heard in the other room. Sorry if I skipped this, it's just kind of pointless. Because we already read all this in a different episode. This is a long as hell flashback. Quite a sensational ending. Who would have thought Darian would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darian Crescent is a member of my band, the Gaviniers. He's also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet after the investigation, I have found no cause to alter our case, or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, forehead? Ugh, gotta hit that wall. I really don't even care anymore. That wall is just fodder. I fixed it so many times. Eventually the judge is just gonna make it, shock-proof, and he's just gonna go to slam his hand on there. He's like, oh my god, that hurt like hell. He's like, yeah, 100 watts of death, you little bitch. Stop hitting my wall. He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. Oh my god, you're so cool! Out of the entire crowd, you can only hear Trucy. The Gaviniers ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guests took the center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamoire, and Machi, along with a drummer and a bassist, for a total of 5. Shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamoire and the defendant Machi TOBAYE had left the stage at that point, and the Gaviniers were already rocking. This is when 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. 2 shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you. And Apollo. You heard them too, right? Sure I did, I think. Furthermore, Lamoire herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime. Isn't that light, Lamoire? Lamoire. When she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking, But that's impossible. Detective Crescent was... Precisely, Detective Crescent was on stage getting his groove on, no less. Actually, he was in the wrong time signature, like 50 beats below us, but I'll ignore that because he's just the bassist anyway. A perfect alibi. Does defense have anything to say to this? It's true, when I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say Darian Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged. Which means that Lamoire was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well, of course, if we disregard her testimony. Then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If Apollo, please say something. You're just standing there like, whatever. If indeed there are no objections.
Oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now.
But prosecutors Gavin, but he's right. He's not wrong. Lamoire might have been lying to protect Machi. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center? About the case? What about the case? He wants to tell us about Mr. Latusse's death. This meeting's over. Oh, here we go.
Darian?
That's right, he interrupted us right before he got to tell us something important about his death. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Oh, we're gonna call him in? Very well, the court finds the defendant, what was his name again? Oh, god damn it, Apollo. What now? Your Honor. No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquise or Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly, who else do you need to hear from? A witness who until now has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... Yes, Mr. Machi TOBAYE. The defendant, Machi TOBAYE. I call him to the stand.
Were you really thinking of calling Mr. Hat to the stand, Apollo?
Hey, he was there. He is a suspect. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter, Judge. Interpreter, I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as I love you and where is the toilet. Two things that should go directly next to each other. The defense would like to request Lamoire as the interpreter. Lamoire? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual and I'm pretty sure half illegal. Bravo, Air Forehead. There, Judge. The prosecution agrees with the defense's request. If Lamoire lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Well, if both prosecution and defense are for this, even though the prosecution could just bend it to his way, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamoire to the witness stand. Be careful, the stairs are a little slippery. I spilled some of that ice cream. No, those are my tears. I suppose there's a first time for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with, if you would, Lamoire. Yes. He says Machi TOBAYE the defendant. This is certainly a first for the courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? Oh. I didn't think that far ahead, really. Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday? How can I if I don't know what he's saying? Excuse me a moment, if I might speak. Yes, Lamoire. Just now Machi said there is something about which he wishes to testify. Machi wants to testify about something. What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about? One moment, please. I know Apollo looks like an idiot all the time, but sometimes if you just look past his forehead, he's not so bad. Ah, the suspense is killing me. Did you know that Luke gets his hand cut off at the end of the movie? God damn it, I haven't seen that movie. Apollo, that show's been out for like... That movie's been out for like 10 years. What? What? Well, War, you guys just can't have a conversation? According to Machi, he was proof of his innocence. What? I don't know how the judge's voice would go that high. This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo, we did it! This is sounding too good to believe. And I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is a vital testimony. Machi, please testify to the court. Very well. Oh, the sunglasses don't lie. Proof of innocence. By the way, I was searching for thumbnail art, and I don't know why I found this. But, for some reason, there is a lot of walkie-talkie cross Machi TOBAYE art. I don't know why that's a thing. That's kind of weird, seeing as how Machi is also... I think it's supposed to have to do with... I don't know. Whatever. It's just weird. Sometimes fandoms just do these weird things. He says that the word of Mr. Lotus's death came as a great shock. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song... That is, he could not have done it. He says that the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. Why, he would only have to ask Lamoire to know the meaning of the song. Lamoire, did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? Lamoire might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. I'll just have to trust in my vibrating arm dildo to tell me where. It worked yesterday, it'll work today. Proof of innocence. Alright, here we go. He says that word of Mr. Lotus is... Yeah, okay, I can't say he's lying about that. The killing truly followed the lyrics of my song. That is, he could not have done it. He says that the lyrics, because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Yay, I knew he was innocent. I believe he is too, Trucy, I do. What's wrong, Apollo? You got a tummy ache or something? Something's hidden in that testimony. If it's the truth, I'll find it. He says that word of Mr. Lotus... Okay, so we have to press on this. Or we could use the bracelet. Were Machi and Mr. Lotus close? Yes, after we traveled around the world on our tour together. Lamoire, this is Machi's cross-examination, not yours. Wow, I didn't know you're such an asshole all of a sudden. But I knew the answer. This is a court of law, we'll play by the book. I understand. When Prosecutor Gavin's tough, he's really tough. Machi says he was very good friends with Mr. Lotus. Mr. Lotus was always a gentle man, never angry. We always got along quite well. I never dreamed of something like this would happen. But if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song... So I'm assuming that at some point we have to use the bracelet, but for right now I'm just gonna keep pressing on almost everything they have. Because I have no idea what else I do anyways. The guitar's Serenade, correct? Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The theft of the keyring, the burning guitar, and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. That is, he could not have done it. Could he have not? By could not have done it, you mean... It is very simple. Machi could not have done all the things that happened that day, for all those things followed the song lyrics closely. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Wouldn't it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics? No, you don't need... He did know what the song was about, its mood, shall we say. This is enough to play by. This is a very strong feeling I have on music, and not a lot of people are going to agree with me. But for those of you who don't know, I probably already said it here, but I've been, like, a musician forever. And I have a very strong opinion on the fact that lyrics are completely unnecessary in music, and they should just be gone. And vocals entirely. But that's just me, and I'm a crazy person, so don't listen to me. I told him it was a song about guitar and love. He said it was kind of stupid. It's not actually the guitar and love, strictly speaking. Or perhaps I misunderstood. No, not really. Yours is also a valid interpretation. Okay. No, it is my fault. I am too used to singing in Borginian. It is much easier than trying to understand the English lyrics.
Yeah, I knew he was innocent.
Can't believe he is too. Okay. Anyways, let's just use the, I'm trying to look for something different. Machi's not even moving. His sprite is still. It has to be either this one or the first one, because the first one's the only different animation. Machi's eyes, I can see them. He's a pretty boy, I guess. Oh, his eyes are moving. Gotcha. Wow, got that first try. That's a first. Machi, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her the very moment Lamour said English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. But he really doesn't know. He knows exactly what I'm saying. Machi, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue the charade? Damn, Apollo, you're really sure of yourself right now. Mr. Justice, Machi says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, that is all. What? Give me a break. Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Oh. Well, yeah, but... Apollo, this is a pretty solid point, rather you can see his eyes moving or not. I am sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. But, well then explain this. How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? It is simple. It's so simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The newspaper? I'm also confused, Apollo. The Borginian Daily Bugle. You can buy it in this country these days, you know? They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right. I was right for once. Apollo, you're not right much, but I guess you're right. What is wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes are quite fierce all of a sudden. Machi is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he is lying. It said he's... I don't know. What's the proof? Oh, is the newspaper in English? The newspaper is totally in English, isn't it? Wait a minute. No, it's not. I feel like this is the piece of evidence we have to present, but it's not quite clicking in my head right now. Because this one is in English. And, I don't know. I really don't know. I honestly have no clue, so... I've been thinking about this for about 6 minutes now. And I have no clue, so I'm just gonna present the Borginian newspaper and hope that there's some flaw here that I didn't see. Woo, brute force. Not really even brute force, it was just lucky guess. I have a Borginian newspaper. The Borginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Machi? You can see the instant expression on his face. He's like, oh shit. That's right. It doesn't mention the lyrics.
What is this all about?
I'm sorry, Machi. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Borginian newspaper. Oh, it all comes together. All the revelations this case tries to make, although I found them pretty obvious. I guess it's not obvious, the fact that he could speak English, but I just had this weird feeling in the back of my head that was like, he totally speaks English, doesn't he? What does this mean? But I don't see how that's possible. I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning, yes. Not possible. The subject of lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. Damn, you're on. So the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain herself or himself. This is getting really confusing. Machi says, Yes? It is true, I read the newspaper. But this is not where I learned of the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. Well, what? Is this true, Lamoir? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like her forehead's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. Can't you guys see how he's reacting? He was flipping out a second ago because of it. I was on to something. I know it. I can't just let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-examination?
What are you going to do, Apollo?
If I'm going to keep on cross-examining, I better have an angle of attack. I'll throw a protractor. Protractor attack. Or else. My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, I am aroused. I mean, please allow me to continue. That was odd, but if you must, you must. Very well, witness. I understand. It was I who explained the crime that followed the song.
Yay, I knew he was innocent.
Oh, okay, it's just they amended the last testimony. I was like, is that testimony one sentence long? So it's the very last one, and I had to find them lying on it. Okay. Okay, let's use our special little tool here again. Is it Machi this time? No, that'd be too obvious. Is it Lamoir's throat again? No, not this time. Actually. Not her eyes either. No, I need to hear this again. Oh, it is her throat. I can see it. I remembered. You're screwed, lady. Gotcha. You're screwed. Lamoir, I'm currently cross-examining Machi. Why should you be uncertain? Me uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained. I see there is little point in trying to hide anything from you. You have the magic genie eyes. Lamoir, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not the question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer the question for you. Lamoir, you're protecting... Machi. Valiant Grammar. Yes, she is protecting me, for we have the same accent. We are both of Virginian origins, even though we are not, but our accent is very similar, bringing us together by fate. No, she's protecting Machi, isn't she? Lamour, you're protecting Machi. That's why you lied and told us that you explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this isn't the way. Machi, I believe you didn't do it. Really, I trust you. But you've lied to us twice. And now you have Lamour lying on your behalf. Man up, Machi. This is going to work. You have to trust me too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English, you have to. Ah! Oh, poor Machi. Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little, only. You what? What are you guys serious? I hope one of you guys has like a camcorder out. I know they're not allowed in here, but whichever one of you is breaking the law right now, give that to me. I need my own reaction. First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamour? No, I did not. It's quite a surprise. How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is the last. Machi, could you tell us what really happened? No shooting. I did no shooting. So you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in the dressing room behind the desk manager, on the floor, which would be after the shooting, right? Then there is voice. Voice or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo? So when Machi went into the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. And then we came to the door. Panel, high up, I take off, run away, run away. So it was you who escaped through the air vent. As the prosecution has held all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No, he's clearly denied that. He did it. I did no shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor. Oh man, he's so stressed out right now. The victim had already been shot, you say. I find that hard to believe. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. Ugh, gotta hit this wall. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this? He's clammed up, Apollo. Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else? No, there is. Wait, no, of course there is.
What is this cocoon, anyway?
The cocoon is the silk. It is a potent cure.
A cure? Well, Machi, are you a smuggler?
He won't tell me. That cocoon has to have something to do with this. I feel like in the end, Machi's going to get arrested for smuggling this cocoon into here, but he's not going to be arrested for murder, which is good. Machi, please tell us this truth for your own sake. No more to speak. Not any of you. Do we really have to go through this? I have like 4 hours of guitar sex to do when I get home. What does that even include? Oh, you don't want to know. Or you can join us. Us? Yeah, me and my 5 guitars. So much for your precious trust, Airforehead. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. Regardless, this brings us to an impulse. Or an impasse, not an impulse. It does seem that defense and defendant are at odds. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value, should this continue. I see no other course, but to declare a 5-minute recess. Defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed. I'll be in the bathroom eating my ice cream. I've been working diligently on judge stuff. District Court, defendant lobby number 2. I am kind of worried now that this has kind of crossed my mind. I don't know what kind of voice I could possibly give normal Phoenix if I have to go back to voicing him. Hell, I don't even know what kind of voice I'd give Edgeworth. There's no one I've had to give, like, a high and mighty voice yet on this channel. I gave Edgeworth a voice forever ago. But, I mean, even Oscar, I just gave him, like, a high-class, pretty calm voice. I don't know what voice I'd give Phoenix or Edgeworth. Because it's going to get especially confusing when Apollo and Phoenix are in the same game. So that's something we'll have to see in the future. Who knows? Because right now, the Phoenix voice I'm giving Phoenix currently is different from the normal Phoenix voice. It's like this weird, I know everything. You should just trust in me. Apollo, Eustace! Apollo, yeah, okay. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you want to ever get... Wait. That's justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Is that supposed to be taken the way I think it's... Okay, no. Justice. Justice is what he's talking about. Believe, I know shooting. Machi claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap, and he walked right into it. Suddenly I hear a revolver. Very close, very close. Then I hear a voice.
You heard gunshots.
Yes, it's true. I hear a revolver, but only sound.
Wait, you're saying you went into the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead, and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots.
And you escaped through the air vents.
I know.
I know.
Huh? What do you know?
I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage? So the vents went to both stage and backstage. And the backstage area. Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Oh, so that little gap right there is supposed to be the, it's supposed to be the backstage area. That's what that is. Alright then. Well, that clears all... Or that's supposed to be... Sorry, not the backstage area. That's supposed to be the air vents. And the air vents connect to both of those. Alright. Huh? Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something.
I hear this from Magician. Magician?
Don't look at me!
A magician, huh? Well, at least we're clear on one thing.
Machi didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that have to leave? What does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went into the room to find the body, and then he heard that, and then he heard the shots. That one's going to go over well in court, not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says, even lies.
That's what Daddy always told me. I'll just pretend you misheard him every time. So, what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Machi?
I no talking, no.
Well, it was worth a shot.
That cocoon? I can't go home.
You can't go home?
Oh yeah, because you'd be arrested for the whole cocoon thing. It's punishable by death. Yes, of course. Of course he's scared. Oh, well, I guess we'll just have to try a different approach.
That's a spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan? Hold a gun to his head? Chinese water torture? Or are you gonna take his fingernails off one by one until he tells the truth?
No, not any of those things, Trucy.
Maybe next time.
If Machi won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
Are we out of time? Sounds alright to me. That wasn't a very long time. It was like 10 minutes. That was 2 minutes and a really long flashback. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame, and here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? Do you need this protractor back? You threw it at me. It's been sitting on the floor here. Oh, yes, I'd like that back. I need that for my office work. If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I would like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamoire. Oh, I thought he was about to call up Darian. Lamoire? Are you sure? Did I hear that right? Objection! What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamoire's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamoire was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamoire dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? Apollo? I'm trying so hard, I can't even look cool now. I've heard no such... He doesn't know about it? He didn't learn about the whole Lamoire thing. I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin? Why would anyone be out to kill Lamoire? Can you think of a reason? What? Well... Think of how she is known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes. Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think... I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. Oh, well, I didn't... Okay, just keep going then. So am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely, that there is a nugget of truth in Lamoire's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly. Chicken nuggets are delicious. If Lamoire was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lamoire's testimony once more. Lamoire, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window. And that voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice. No, he's right. I don't exactly know yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out, even if it's just random bullshit he spouts till he gets something right. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor. Okay, here we go. The final. Actually, it's nowhere near the final. I was hoping I could make this episode an hour long and hopefully just get it done with, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. What I heard. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard him, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I mean defective. No, detective, that was right. No, defective. I heard that the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. Then there was a smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I am sorry. I am not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. Then it is my distinct pleasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lamoire is attacked because of this testimony. What, Trucy? Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Well, very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. You know, Apollo, you're cool for once, even though you're normally not. What I heard. I was on my way... Okay, yep. We can't use our bracelet anymore. We have to go off of pure evidence. So I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of... I have to admit, though, I do like Apollo's bracelet mechanic more than I like Phoenix's lock mechanic, or whatever it's actually called. Because with Phoenix's, all it does is extend the parts of the trial that I do not like, which is the investigation parts, instead of extending the actual meat of the trial, where that is not used at all. So I like Apollo's much better. So far, in order, I have to go, like, Phoenix, then Apollo. That's from, like, worst to best. I don't know about Edgeworth's thing. I haven't seen it yet. Anyways. Let's just start pressing for evidence, I suppose. Hold it! Is something wrong? I raised an objection. But she's saying the same thing she said before. Mr. Justice? Sorry, it's nothing. Please continue with your testimony. Now I know what they mean about the reckless youth these days. The one in red over there is a shining example, oh Judge. You're the last person who should be pointing fingers, Mr. Rockstar. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. Darian Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him. The one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that it's impossible? There's no way you could have heard him, and that's that. Because the window at the scene was closed. Is that why? Of course.
Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions yesterday, we won't get anywhere.
She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. Oh, finally, other options. What were they talking about? Lamar, do you by chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but... I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. Oh, that's enough. A whole phrase? Yeah. Clavy, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just fine. Just twisted my ankle. You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it, the clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was one other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then, Darian Crescent. Well, what did he say? It's over. Press the switch now. Oh, press the switch now. She must be talking about the pyrotechnics kit. It's over. Press the switch now. Why would Darian try to coax Mr. Latouche into pressing the pyrotechnics switch? I don't... No, because there was also... I'm forgetting something very small. Where did the unused pyrotechnics kit come from? I don't remember. Or the igniter. Identical igniters in Gavin's guitar and at the crime scene triggered by a remote trigger. Okay, I still have no idea where this is going, but I know what they're talking about at least. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? I'm sure. I'd be delighted. It's, very vital. Very, very vital. You don't even know, Judge. The vitality stat of this specific phrase is above average. Apollo, you're just talking out of your ass now, aren't you? Kinda, yeah. Maybe we could add that to the testimony.
Maybe, Apollo?
Maybe? I don't know, maybe. We can? Probably? From the small window, I heard... Present. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. Present remote trigger. Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh. Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here. It certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. On the stage? Are you claiming that the voice Lamoire heard was someone commanding another to press the switch? Okay, I know this is kind of an odd point to stop, but I'm going to end this episode here just because I want the case to be kind of split in an even half, if possible. So if you like this episode, which I'm definitely enjoying this case, I don't get why people say it's so, like, boring or dull. Then again, I guess if you're a true Ace Attorney fan, I'm not going to say true because that sounds, like, pretentious. But, like, if you're someone who's really into Ace Attorney, you probably do judge these cases by writing quite a bit. I think I'm a little too easy to please when it comes to this game because it's just almost always fun for me, except for maybe 1 or 2 cases I played out of the 4 games I've played. But if you like this episode or like how this series is going, please leave a like. It helps me out a lot and makes me feel happy. And if you want to become a member of the Dust Brigade, which I highly recommend, you can push that subscribe button and then you'll be one of us. So thank you and have a wonderful day. Writing out.